Hi guys, it's Rae with The Buzz, and of course we have another week of America's Got Talent live shows that have just gone by. I spoke to all of the contestants from last night's show. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
I was saying this is a lot different from any other performance that you've done probably because there's no audience and different from America's Got Talent as you watch it. So how did that feel to you, this type of performance?
So luckily I wear glasses, so I can't see anybody normally when I perform anyway, and that is intentional. But it did feel different to not actually hear and feel like the energy coming from an actual crowd. We only had the energy of 3 opposed to the energy of 1,000, and we use that energy to perform and to give as much energy as possible, but it was still an amazing experience because of the 3 people that we did have there pushing us and applauding us and just encouraging us to keep going after our dreams and our goals. And yeah, they're the bomb. Yeah, it was dope.
Awesome. Okay, Waffle Crew, what is it like coming together to just choreograph, to rehearse, to organize, especially in this time where everybody's being so careful and you might not have maybe had as much rehearsal time as you had wanted? What's it been like?
It's kind of awkward for us, like, especially, for example, wearing masks while practicing. It sucks because we dance and then we're asked to put our mask right back on our faces. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe.
Yeah, I agree. Like, we're what we do is, like, we don't really sing or, do magic or anything. So it's like we're very physical and we have to, like, breathe. So, like, dancing with the mask on or, like, rehearsing with the mask on is a challenge for us.
What's most impressive is how, like, the show has adapted and kind of innovated with everything that's going on in the world. They say the show must go on, and they found a way to make it happen in a way that's not just safe, but it's super entertaining. Like, I think this is one of the most interesting seasons of America's Got Talent in its history. It's certainly the most unique. So, for me as a performer, you definitely feed off the energy of having a real crowd there, but they've done a great job with this sort of virtual audience because we can see and hear, they can see us, we can hear them. And so it really felt like being up there on stage last night, we had that kind of feedback mechanism that you look for as a for me, it's kind of unique in that I entered the show from the online auditions. So I've never actually been on stage with the judges. So for me, this was an upgrade from my living room performance. But it's definitely cool to perform in front of the judges finally. And like I said, the virtual audience is certainly not a substitute for the real thing, but that energy is still there and it's still tangible. And they've done a really great job of keeping the show interesting.
And how big is that screen? I wondered.
Massive. It wrapped all the way around too. Like, I don't know how, it's got to be a few hundred households. And then in each little square, you saw 3-4 people on the couch gathered around. So there's literally hundreds of people sort of cheering us on. You could definitely feel the energy. And it was great to be able to incorporate them in my act last night and try to give them that experience they might have had if they were in the crowd rather than just watching and, following along. They actually got to participate in it. Seems like I got in a lot of their minds.
All right. So Alan, what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, like Max said, there is an audience. They're just not physically there. In my case, since my performance was outside, there was no audience, not even virtually. So that was different. That was hard because I am used to perform for an audience. And when I did my audition, I still had an audience because it was just before everything stopped because of COVID-19. But it was difficult because you feed off the audience energy for sure. It gives me, more of like the reaction. It's like I'm going in the right direction. Do they like it? I'm doing the right thing. But I just had to keep in mind that they are our audience, but they're just at home watching. So yeah, it was different.
Malik, what about you? Because I imagine you love the audience's energy because I was at home like, woo! So.
But yeah, just like Alan and Max said, there was an audience, and also I like the innovation that AGT has created during this time of COVID, but because people are home, so they actually can watch us more often than getting up and going in their daily lives. But definitely also being a live performer, I definitely feed off of people's energy. Like Alan said, like you can see somebody's eyes glowing up, be like, oh, he's doing what I like, you know. And then that makes you like, you know, keep going for the crowd, you know, just to immerse them into your show. So yeah, it definitely was a different angle of performing, but I definitely still felt good. I still felt like, you know, the crowd was like the energy I'm getting back from social media or anything. I could tell the people were watching and they felt that energy. They felt the fire of my show. So I'm glad.
And so Alan, of course, are you, I have to ask, are you terrified every time? Because I'm terrified. So are you terrified every time you know, get on that stage and you have to perform or you're doing something new, especially?
I wouldn't say I'm terrified. I do have fear. Everybody has fear. But I think, like I even said, you have to conquer your fear. You can't let your fear take over you, because then you wouldn't basically live your life, because people are afraid to, you know, get out of the house, get hit by a car, or to be robbed, or people are afraid of everything. We are human beings, right? But we have to just conquer it and don't let fear take over. But yeah, of course I had fear, and in this time around I was performing outside and the weather conditions did not help, and you know, the stage was wet because of humidity and all of that, so that increases the fear level. For my performance, I was really I was a bit scared, you know. And for this last move with the spikes, that was really scary, because it's something that nobody have ever done before. I didn't know what are the, you know, chances of me falling on that final drop, because it's not something that I've done enough time to have, you know, a consistent, how to say, like out of 10, you know, 8 is good, or, you know, I can't tell, because it's not something that has been done before. So that was a bit scary too. But you just push it through, and I just had to push it through to be able to perform for you guys. So,
Cristina, we know that you have somebody special watching you at home that you are always performing for. What has your son's feedback been like?
He's actually here with me. He lets me know every day, Mommy, Cristina Rae got the golden buzzer. And I'm like, first of all, why do you know my name? I am mommy to you. But he is very proud of me. He calls himself the winner because he sees his mom winning. And so that's golden buzzer every day for me. And it's an amazing experience to have a little person who knows how to dream and knows how to go for his dreams just by following and being with his mom.
And Waffle Crew, okay, so you guys have all these kind of fun sets that you guys get to have in your performances. What's that like? And is there any specific one that you're thinking of coming up next or want to have?
It feels amazing. It's not like a regular performance. It's like we're shooting one of our organic train videos with our phone. But for our next one,
nah, you can't give that away. You can't give that away.
All right.
Right now.
I won't get y'all in trouble. Surprise. Go ahead. What you saying?
It's a strong message. That's all I gotta say.
Arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor.
I'm excited.
We'll start with that.
I'm excited. I love to see you guys. And then Max, I mean, I can't even imagine what you'll be able to do next that's going to mystify us, but how do you decide what you're going to kind of scramble our minds with? It's so amazing.
Yeah, this act actually came to me in a dream. I wasn't sure what I was going to do when I got the call after, judge cuts. And I woke up probably about 48 hours after judge cuts, like out of bed. I've never in my life as an artist had that like strike of inspiration like people talk about. It's usually been more of like a concerted effort. But I was shaken from a deep sleep, and I knew my entire act and the full script, and I wrote it down in about 3 minutes and went back to bed. So I can only pray to ever have an inspiration like that again in my career. But, the way you think about this, or I think about this, is like the circumstance. This isn't the typical America's Got Talent where you have the crowd and you're there. So I'm trying to think about, like, how can I do the best act possible based on the realities of this season? And so it's part of the reason I felt like performing on the virtual audience was the move last night. Was like, since they couldn't be there in person, was like, what's more validating than doing it through the screen and kind of giving them that experience and showing how we're all connected. So hopefully I'll wake up in a cold sweat again with the idea for my next act. But if not, you know, I'll just have to pull from the last 20 years of my career and my experience and my instincts, like all the performers talk about. At the end of the day, there's no right choices. There's only what you feel in your heart is the right direction. And so most certainly I'll raise the bar, and we'll have to see what happens next, how the voting goes tonight.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I hope to talk to all of you guys again. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.